again, we're working with overhead press for this training day. Like I said before, with the conditioning, I realize not everyone works with barbells in their group training program. You may not have the equipment available or the space or whatnot, or even want to do it, and that's cool. But just know that there's options out there. So within my templates that I've outlined in the manual, I want you guys to understand that you can trade out exercises based on kind of the movement pattern that we're looking at. So we're overhead pressing, all right? So if you've got dumbbells, we can, let's just focus on dumbbells and kettlebells, okay? So basically do the same kind of things there. So with dumbbells, I tend to prescribe a neutral grip press or an Arnold press where you rotate. I very rarely have people shoulder pressing this way. I tend to favor this guy or this guy. I feel like they're a little bit more shoulder friendly, and I feel like they keep the emphasis on the delts instead of kind of hitting the upper traps more. So neutral grip or Arnold press for the dumbbells. For kettlebell overhead press, obviously, boom, we got that guy. So what we've got with these two is I wanted to break down kind of some options so y'all can kind of think that way to not really be stuck in a specific way of doing things. So we could do either a dumbbell press or a kettlebell press sitting on the floor, which I tend to call a Z press, okay? So when you sit on the floor, you can have legs straight out in front, or you could be in a straddle sit position. The main thing there is that if somebody has really, they're restricted through, like they're not able to extend their leg fully, that could be a problem on that, okay? So that's an important factor. You need to be able to extend your legs, lock them out nice and tight, and then be able to push overhead. So you'll really see if someone, if someone has a shoulder restriction, you're gonna already know about that. That's probably not gonna be the best choice for you, is to put them in that sitting on the floor position, okay? Because it limits the amount of, it really exposes that any limitations in shoulder mobility or T-spine mobility for that matter. So we could go to half kneeling or tall kneeling, which that would be my recommendation instead of having them sit on the floor. Put them in a kneeling position, get them kind of engaged here and here, effectively decrease their height versus like having them stand up. So you're gonna potentially eliminate any compensations by putting them in the kneeling position, okay? I use kneeling positions for everyone regardless of of their ability, okay? I tend to go with kneeling over standing. Half or tall kneeling are your options there. So another option would be having a person sit on a bench, okay? So that's one, and then the last I put standing. So when a person is standing, of course we can go strict press, you can push press or push jerk from those positions. And then furthermore, we can go two arms, we can go alternating arms. So on the alternating arm, what we do in here is the easier of the two. I'm saying easier, but less having to think about stuff would be what I call a bottoms up, which is where one kettlebell or dumbbell stays down while the other one presses and comes down and then go to the other side. Or top down, which is where you press both up, bring one down, press it up, and then go to the other side. So you've got two options on alternating arm and then one arm, okay? So you can kind of see how we've got like one exercise, but you can change it up. And I didn't even get into all the other kind of ways of manipulating loading or, stances, this, that, and the other. So those are options for dumbbell and kettlebell. So of course we got barbell overhead press. I call it a strict press, okay? If we're not doing a push press or a push jerk, we can do that sitting on the floor as a Z press, sitting on a bench or standing, okay? And then from there, we could also do a push press or a push jerk, which are both done in standing. So options for barbell. I also included sandbag, okay, because I'm big into the DBRT, the ultimate sandbag stuff these days. So we got a sandbag overhead press as well as a push press. Okay, so hopefully that shows y'all just some options there. I didn't put landmine press. I see some people doing trap bar overhead pressing these days. Like we've got all sorts of stuff. I mean, even earthquake bar, which I have in here. I only have one, but you've got different ways to kind of like tweak that overhead press and make it suit not only like, well, first and foremost, the equipment that you have available, of course, is going to dictate what you're gonna do, but also too to suit the individual within each group. So if you're like me, like I work with groups that are like, I like 6 people. I don't really try to do bigger groups these days. So I feel that with the smaller group size, like it allows me to kind of tinker and make it more individualized for each person that's in there.